Alright everybody, so this video that you're going to be watching today has actually been taken over several weeks, honestly, because I never was able to finish the video. I would start it, something would happen, or I couldn't finish it, or I didn't have time. And actually this video was a subscriber request from one of my good nitro buddies, Chris Meffin. So shout out to Chris Meffin. He's hooked me up with a brand new free engine. He didn't charge me nothing. He just sent it to me as a surprise and a gift because I worked on his engine for him. He sent me his engine and I worked on it for him and sent it back to him. So that was very nice of him. And we're kind of buddies. We chit chat a lot and we do trades with each other. And he just sold me, I ain't finished paying it off yet, but he sold me that Rustler. It's in great condition, just a little dusty, and gave me a free custom airbrush body to go with it. But someone told him that I was trading it off here recently. I don't know who was talking to him. But anyways, let's get off of that. Back to this subject. So the dust boots that's on the Revos and Slayers and some T-Maxes, these dust boots right here on your pivot ball dust boots and the axle shaft dust boot. And see that dust boot right there? That top one? See, it's got a tiny... It ain't focusing. Let me put the light down because I gotta have both hands. I'm shaking. So see that tiny hole right there in that dust boot? It's about time for that to happen. I'm going to show you how to make your dust boots last way longer. I'm going to show you how to change them out. And I'm going to show you the little tricks and things that I do when I do the dust boots, swap them out and change them, that can help you with your dust boots. And I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the right way to change them and how to make your pivot ball adjustments correct, where your suspension will perform correctly. And because there's a wrong and a right way to do it, guys. And some people has trouble doing these little things like this and don't know how. So I'm going to be showing you how to do it on a Revo, but it's the same process and the same parts for the T-Maxes and Revos and Slayer Pros, and even some of the electric models like the E-Maxes. Like this model takes them. And like I said, T-Maxes. And I'm going to pick the worst one that I have, the worst condition ones I have, to show you what happens if you don't keep your dust boots changed. Because the dust boots on the pivot balls, hold on. Because the top and bottom dust boots on the pivot balls is actually very important. They keep your pivot balls from getting scratched and dirt and gunking in there, from causing your suspension to bind up and not perform correctly. And then the middle dust boot on the axle shaft right there, it's not as important, and they wear out. They wear out pretty good bit too. See, I'm sure you guys have seen them get to this condition. Don't let them get to that condition right there where there's no longer a dust boot there at all. That's bad. That'll destroy your pivot balls, and you'll have to buy new ones and axle carriers probably. But they're not expensive. All these parts are not that expensive. They're just kind of annoying to change if you don't like maintenance and you don't like working on your RC model. But I'm going to show you, and believe it or not, these dust boots on this Revo right here, the ones I've been showing you that look still good, besides the tiny little hole, believe it or not, these are over a year old. And that's how long they can last whenever I show you my tips on making them last longer. So stay tuned and watch the whole video, and I'll show you how to make your dust boots last this long and look this pretty and blue, instead of them cracking and falling apart like that right there, and they turn dark blue. Like, look at that, that's dark blue, and look at these. So stay tuned, guys. I'm going to show you everything you need to know about all this. And I'm sorry I'm shaking. I'm trying to hold the camera steady. And one more thing, like I said, the video was taken over several periods of days. So if the scenery in the background changes, or the video I start talking differently, that's because there's several different videos all combined into one. Alright guys, stay tuned. We'll get started. Okay, so if you're going to be doing your dust boots and your you're ready and you have all the parts you need to do it, the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously remove the tires and wheels. So literally, just take all 4 tires and wheels off. Okay, we got the tires and wheels off, and you don't have to right this second for the next few procedures, because we're going to be, but for one of the steps of setting the pivot balls correctly, where they perform correctly, you're going to have the Revo or the T-Max or Slayer, E-Max, whatever you're changing the boots on, up off the ground so the A-arm can move up and down freely. And I'll show you about that part when we get to it. Next, remove all your wheel hex hubs. So, you know, like these blue things or the little black plastic hex ones or whatever wheel hubs you have, remove all 4 of them. So now that we got all the wheel hex hubs off, we're going to stay on one axle carrier assembly. So we're not going to be doing all 4 at one time, then moving on. We're going to stay on, we're going to take apart, put the new boots on, and put it back together one A-arm at a time. And trust me, it'll go faster and smoother and better for you. Unless you just want to do all 4 at once and then do it that way. But anyway, so our next step is you got to have the Traxxas dust boot, or what are they called? Not the dust boot, but the caps, the pivot ball caps. Pivot ball caps, that's right. So you need the pivot ball cap removing tool from Traxxas that comes with your models when you get them brand new. It looks like this tool right here, and it's got these little, it's got the fancy little keys on the end of it, and that's gonna fit. That's gonna fit inside right here, and you turn it till it locks in place, and then you start unscrewing the pivot ball cap. If you don't have this tool right here, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get something to get the blue dust boot out. So you get a flathead screwdriver like this, a small one, and you can poke either in the center of the pivot in the dust boot, because these dust boots for the pivot ball caps, they got holes in the centers of them, and that's to adjust them after you get them put on. But I don't even like adjusting them with them on. I'll show you how to do mine. You can either put something in the middle of the dust boot and then push sideways and pop it out like that. Wow, these are horribly dry rotted and in bad condition. Or you can get you like a set of needle nose pliers maybe. A set, you can't see, it's too dark. Get you a set of needle nose pliers and somehow maybe you can grab it. No, flathead screwdriver. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so next. Alright guys, so now what we're going to do, we got the hex hubs off, wheel hex hubs off. Get the special key that you got to use from Traxxas. The tool right here looks like this. It's got the special keyway on the end of it that fits the pivot ball caps right there. This is what you got to have, and this is what you got to use to remove them. So we're going to remove the pivot ball caps now. Just unscrew it till it comes all the way out. And make sure you keep it pushed in good and keep pressure on it where it won't slip and strip, because you'll wind up ruining the tool and it'll look like that and you won't be able to use it no more. If you don't have one of these, you'll have to pull the blue dust boots out. When you get your flathead screwdriver or something, and you can either go push in the center of the dust boot, because in the center of all the dust boots there's holes, and they're there for you to be able to adjust the pivot balls. But you can either go in the center of the dust boot and go sideways and pop it out like this, or you can get you a set of needle nose pliers or something and try to, just whatever you can use to get it out. And these were horribly dry rotted and they were not working good. Look at all that dirt and stuff in there. Okay guys, so anyways, go ahead and finish taking your pivot ball caps out. If they're really hard, oh yeah, I didn't tell you the tool. If you don't have one of these tools, you'll have to get a regular screwdriver bit like that, a big hex bit. This is not one I'm talking about, but I don't have one. The hex bit will look similar to this. Actually, I bet I do have one. Oh man, I am not going to go through all them right now. Plus, I was going to clean them in my ultrasonic cleaning machine, and the ones I cleaned, hold on, the ones I cleaned in my ultrasonic cleaning machine is right here, and the ones that I hadn't cleaned yet is right here, and you can see the difference. But I sprayed WD-40 on them so they wouldn't continue rusting, and that's why they look shiny. So anyways, let me, here's one. No, it ain't. Let me find, here's one. So you gotta get a bit like this, and you gotta have a screwdriver that allows you to put bits in the end of it or something. And this, you gotta use something like this to get the pivot ball caps out. Anyways, back to the regular video. Continue unscrewing and get the top cap out and unscrew the bottom cap, and then we'll move on. So now that we got both pivot ball caps out, next we're gonna get a 2.5 size hex driver. So it's a size 2.5. I'm gonna be using my electric one because it's faster. And you may have to slightly push the arm up where it's straight across, and that lines the pivot balls up with the centers. You see the centers, the hex in the center? But if you leave it down like this, then your screwdriver will have to be at an angle, and it won't fit inside the hex socket and the pivot ball, and you'll wind up possibly stripping your pivot ball out. So it's best to raise the A-arm up like that, where the pivot balls will be straight out to you, and then you can stick your screwdriver straight in, and it'll get a good connection, and you'll be able to take it out. But just put it in and unscrew the complete pivot ball till the pivot ball can come out, and do the top and bottom. Okay, once you get the pivot balls out, the whole axle carrier will be wobbly and falling around. It might even possibly pull out the axle shaft like that, and that's fine. Next, we're gonna, you don't have to, you can leave it on if you want, but I'm going to remove it. We're gonna remove the toe link right here, or tie rod, and we're gonna take that screw out so we can pull the axle carrier off and have the axle carrier loose in our hand. So let me get that off. Okay, now we have that off. Now our axle carrier and everything can just pull right off if it wasn't already, like it was a while ago I showed you. And see, the dust boot is just gone, man. And just let it fall right off. Throw it in the trash. Okay, now what we're going to do is just push the axle out of the axle carrier. So just push it through. Let it fall out. Now this is a time where you want to get you, or you should have already probably had one, but get you a little bucket or tub or bowl of soapy water, your favorite RC car cleaning mixture, regular dish soap, whatever you like to clean your stuff with. Go ahead and get that, and I'll show you what I like to clean all my RC stuff with because it doesn't damage anything. I either use this right here, gunk engine degreaser, because it doesn't damage aluminum or rubber. It's safe on all materials, and it works so great, man. The parts come out so clean, they look brand new. Or it ain't the correct factory bottle, but Cal RC Moo Clean. This is safe on all RC materials and plastics and rubbers and everything. You can use stuff like Purple Power, as long as you don't let them like sit in it overnight where it'll degrade the parts, because Purple Power is pretty strong. It'll turn aluminum dark. It'll degrade plastic. But you can use it if you spray it on the part where you're cleaning really quickly, scrub it a little bit with a brush, and then rinse it real quick with fresh clean water. Then blow dry it off or let it air dry. Look at all the brake cleaner I got. Then you can use degreaser. But anyways, guys, so let me go get some soapy water or a bucket or whatever and start letting these parts soak as we take them off. And we'll move on to the next part. Actually, I'm just going to show you the whole process so you'll know what I do and how my process works. So just get you the gunk. It sucks it don't come in a, they might make it in a regular bottle you can pour it in, but I'm gonna, since it comes in spray cans, and they make a foamy one and the original one. I use the original one. It works way better. Just spray it and fill the bowl up a little bit. You can put, the more you use, the cleaner it's gonna work, the better it's gonna work. So just go ahead and put that up, fill it up a little bit, and I'll show you where I stop at. So that's about how much I used, which is not that full at all. Next, I'm gonna put some water in it. So I'll show you how much water I put in it. So there's about how much water, and I used hot water. The hotter the water you can use and withstand the touch, the better. So now, like this axle shaft that fell out, even if you got brand new axles to put in, which I hadn't talked to you about brand new axles, we'll get to that point. But just go ahead. Even the parts you don't think you're going to keep, even the ones you might throw away, like the damaged ones, like these little parts, put everything in the cleaning solution to be cleaned. Because just keep watching and I'll tell you why at the end. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pop our bearings out. So get you something. I can't do it with holding the camera. Let me get my tripod going here. So just pop the bearings out. The back one's always a little trickier. There it went. Okay, now remove the pivot ball locking tabs. So it's best if you got a pick. Hold on. It's best if you got a pick like this or just anything. If you got a flathead screwdriver, a tiny one, that'll work. And just stick it right there and pop it up. Pop it up. Then you can just pull the whole thing off. And your dust boot will come off. So like I said, guys, even if it's ripped and got holes in it, which, yeah, this does, never mind. Don't waste your time putting it in your cleaning solution. It'll just go ahead and dirty up your water, and it'll just dirty up your water. You don't need that. But if the dust boot doesn't have rips in it, it just looks black and turn colors from being degraded over time. See, this one's ripped. We're gonna throw it away too. But our little holders that holds the dust boots on, they're still good. You can keep them for spares or backups or sell them. Put them in your cleaning solution. And I forgot to do it yet, but we're gonna put our pivot ball caps in the cleaning solution. So now we got our axle carrier, and look inside to see if there's any dirt or trash. If your axle carrier is clean, you don't have to clean it. But see how dirty it is, guys? Since we got it off, we're just going to clean it, and that's why we're doing all this. Now for your actual pivot balls, look at them and see what kind of condition they're in. If they're nice, and see, these have some scratches and nicks on them, and that's because the dust boots were bad, and it was when dirt gets past the dust boots, because there's holes in them, it causes the caps to push the dirt in against the pivot ball, or it just grinds itself around from the dirt being on the sidewalls of the axle carrier, and it slowly eats up and wears out your pivot balls. And the more scratched they are, the harder it is for the pivot ball cap to move on them, and your suspension won't be as slick and smooth and freely. And even if it's your steering servo, if it's your steering pivot balls on the front, then it'll wear your steering servo out, having a harder time to turn them. Plus, if they're wore out, you won't be able to tighten the caps down. And if you can't tighten the caps down, then your whole suspension and axle carrier setup will be loose and wobbly, and you won't even be able to drive in a straight line. It'll veer off to the left or right. It'll be wobbly. It'll just suck. So if your pivot balls are wore out, get new ones, guys. And hold on, let me show you. Just go ahead and spend the extra cash and get these PTFE coated aluminum pivot balls. I figured I know. Where's the part number at? They got it covered. Oh, the part number is 4933X. These are one of the most amazing and best performing upgrades you can get. And I've made a video about them of why they are so great performing and what they do. So I'm not going to waste time in this video talking about it. Go check my other video out. but it might, you'll see it on my channel if you click on it. They're $20 a pack. You'll need 2 packs to do the whole model, the RC model. But you can always just go back with the steel pivot balls from Traxxas, and which these are from Traxxas too. I don't know why I said that. If you do have bad pivot balls, you can just get them from Traxxas, the stock ones, and they're only like $6 a pack. You'll need 2 packs, so it won't be over $15 for brand new pivot balls. But alright guys, I'll actually show you when we get one. I'll show you the difference in what a bad one and a good one looks like here in a minute when we get one. So let's let that part soak a minute. And while we're letting it do that, we're going to get us a brush. We're going to get us a toothbrush. Or y'all know what I love to use, my favorite cleaning tools of all, my little wire brushes I get off eBay. Just type in on eBay brass wire brushes, mini brass wire brushes, and you'll get all kind of different sizes and shapes that you can use to clean. I use them to clean all my engines, and doing stuff this way with cleaning it with a brush and hand scrubbing works 1,000,000 times better than any ultrasonic cleaning machine. I swear it does. Alright guys, so anyways, get you a brush or a toothbrush, and I'm going to use a toothbrush on this stuff just because I think it'll actually be better in this situation. And just scrub all around everything. Scrub where the dirt is. Just clean it real good. Anywhere you see something built up or trash or debris or mud or grease, scrub it. Scrub all the joints, all the locations, all the angles and all the sides. Make sure you get the whole thing scrubbed. And do that to the axle carrier and you can put it back in the cleaning solution while you wait and scrub the other parts. So the axle carrier was what was so dirty, and see all that dirt that was in there. Look, it's already coming off. That's how great this gunk degreaser works. But I'm still going to scrub the whole axle carrier, and I'm going to get inside here and go around in circles. And I'm going to get some Q-tips. Hold on, let me get them. Get you a Q-tip, or if you got a specialty brush, and go inside all the holes that you can't fit a toothbrush in. Just get it looking good, guys. Why? I mean, might as well. Why not? I mean, I know dirt inside these holes is not going to affect the performance of the axle carrier at all. But it's just good while you got it off. Just clean it up, man. That's what makes your RC model last longer and look better, is being clean. Dirt and grunk stuck on your RC model and where the moving parts are, that is what wears them out, man. It's like it degrades the plastics, it scratches them, and it makes everything become loose, because when it scratches them over time and wears them out, it's causing the actual material of the plastic or metal to wear away, and then it'll just be nothing left. And that's when stuff gets loose and wobbly, and it don't tighten up, or it won't work right, and you'll have to buy a new one. So go ahead and dip this back in the solution and see what it looks like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go rinse this off with just regular water. Go rinse all the parts off with water. So get all your parts out. Don't dump that cleaning stuff out, because you'll have to use it to clean your other parts. Remember, we're doing one of these axle carriers at a time and pivot ball setups at a time. We get all your parts out that we just scrubbed and go rinse everything off. Actually, don't do that. Don't go rinse everything off yet, because we forgot something. Since our dust boot was bad on the axle shaft, if you're going to be replacing the dust boot on the axle shaft, which is that dust boot right there, then you also need to pull this half off that's connected to the differential. Take it off also and clean it too, because it's got to be clean to put the new dust boot on, or the glue will not stick to the dirty surface. So I'm just going to take this axle shaft off. Go ahead and drop it in the cleaning solution. Let it sit in there a little bit. Then scrub it like we did the other parts. Then once you get done scrubbing it and pull it out, then we'll rinse all the parts off. Okay, so let me do that. And guys, the most important part, you want to be absolutely clean with nothing on it at all, is the pivot ball caps. So get the pivot ball caps and really clean them good. Go in the middle of them. This side is the side you really want to make sure it's clean. This rounded side, because that's the side the pivot ball sits in, and that's what holds the pivot ball in. And the pivot ball's got to be able to move and slide around this area against the surface. So it needs to be clean. It's highly important. And that's what the caps are for, to keep it clean. But the dust boots are for, to keep it clean. But when the dust boots go bad, it lets dirt in and it destroys everything. And lastly, if you didn't clean them, even if they look clean, go ahead and just clean the pivot balls. If you're going to be reusing the same pivot balls, go ahead and clean them. Make sure you scrub the insides out. And now we got all of our parts scrubbed. Now we're going to go rinse them off. So I got them all, and I'm just going to go to my kitchen sink and rinse them off with hot water, and I'll be back. So now what I'm going to do is just get all my parts, which I've already actually done it. I forgot to take a video of it, but I'm going to show you now. Just get all your parts and get you some compressed air if you have access to compressed air, and then just blow everything off and dry it. And that's all I'm going to do, because like I said, I've already done it. And if you don't have access to be able to blow dry all the parts off, you'll have to try to dry them off as best as you can with a paper towel or rag. And you really want to make sure you get them dried off completely now. Every part, make sure they're all dry. I forgot to blow the pivot ball caps off. But once you dry everything off, then we can start the next process. Let me finish. There's actually several things I forgot to dry off. Alright, now the last thing that we're going to do before we put everything together is just quickly clean and check our bearings. When I say clean, we're just going to get the outside of them. Hold on, let me get it. So get the bearing in your hand and either use a clean dry toothbrush or a little Q-tip cotton swab. And you don't have to, but you can even use that rubbing alcohol to spray it. But if your seals are bad, don't do it, because it'll get past the bearing seals. But anyways, at first I just get a dry toothbrush and I just wipe the dust off, because if your seals are actually in good condition, you shouldn't have to use any kind of cleaners. The dust should just come off. So just scrub the dust off both sides. If the seals are bad, then you need to buy new bearings. But since I got the bearings, I'm actually going to go a step further and check the grease, but you don't have to. But first, before you actually go through all that trouble, I'm doing the other bearing now. Before you actually go through all that trouble, the way I test my bearings to see if they're still good or not, because just because the bearing looks good, the grease might be degraded inside depending on how old the bearing is. So this is how I check my bearings. And once I get the dirt off of them, I get a bearing sizer tool, that's what it's called, a bearing sizer tool. And I got this from Avid RC. It was like $12. And you can see how much I use it. See how it wore off, the anodizing is wore down. This is how I test all my bearings. I hold my bearing in my fingers like this, and I spin the tool, and it lets you be able to feel the vibrations in the bearing, and it lets you see how long the bearing can spin, and that tells you all about the bearing, what kind of condition it's in. This bearing is good. I can feel a little resistance, and that's just the grease inside the bearing. If it spun too freely, then that means there's no grease in the bearing at all. If it didn't spin at all, that means there's a problem with the bearing. And when you spin it, and when you spin this, and this tool is spinning, and it's vibrating your hand, that's grit and dirt inside the bearings, and you need to take the seals off and clean them. But obviously, if the dirt's already in there, I'll just buy new ones. So since they feel pretty good, I'm still going to go a step further and check the inside and see what the grease looks like. So just get you a razor blade, I mean a X-Acto knife blade. You can get them at Walmart, dollar store, Hobby Lobby. And it don't matter which one you do. I go to the inside because it's easier. Go in between the inside of the bearing seal and the race of the bearing. Stick the tip of the blade in and gently pull back. And it'll slowly come off. So now you got the seal off. Turn it over and look at the seal. See, it's got a little bit of gunk on it. That's just old bearing grease. So let me wipe it off and show you that it wipes off. See? It wipes off. So if the bearing seal looks pretty clean, which this one looks okay. Next, look at the inside of the bearing and the grease of the bearing. So if it looks, let me get my light going. Okay, so that's just, you can tell the grease looks a little, I mean, it doesn't look bad. Now, if it was like black, see, there's a little bit of dirt left around the ring of the bearing where I didn't get it all the way off with a toothbrush, stuck in between the seal and race of the bearing. So they actually look decent. So I'm not even going to check the other big bearing. So we're going to put the seal back on. And all you do to put the seal back on is we're just going to just stick it back on. Make sure you stick it with the, obviously this side goes towards the facing inside of the bearing. All you do is just stick it on in the middle, line it up, push down, and the seal will pop right back in. So alright guys, moving on. Next step. If you got the brand new pivot, if you got the brand new dust boot packs, let me get them. So check it out guys, this is how many I've got in my little collection. And then I've got the actual shaft boots here. But anyways, get you some of the, oh I dropped some. Get you some of the dust boots out. The part number 5378X. You'll need 2 packs to do the full RC model you're doing. Each RC model, T-Max, Revo, Slayer, they all take 2 packs. So let me open it up and show you what to do. So I put a slit in the back of the pack and I'm going to open it up and just dump everything out. Make sure you get on. Oh, I just dropped one. Let me get it. So next, get you something pointy, like a Phillips head screwdriver, just something, anything pointy, and it's got to be able to do this. See the center of the dust boot? It's got a little hole in it where the pivot ball goes through it. We're going to stick our pointy object right there and set the dust boot. Don't force the dust boot on the item you're using, because it'll stretch that hole and the dust boot won't work no more. It'll stretch it out and run it. So just make sure it's gently sitting on top of whatever you're using. Alright, now let me show you what to do next. Now let me get the rest of my stuff and show you how I do it and everything I bought to do this with. Well, I didn't buy all this just to do this with. I had it for other stuff first, but it works perfectly for this. So I use these little sticks, wooden sticks, which is what I got the end of the dust boot on. And you can get these at Hobby Lobby along with the stand the sticks goes in. And what this does is it holds stuff for you to paint it or dry stuff off or whatever. And you just stick them in the carrier like that. So I've got, but this end is the end that goes down in the thing. So I got to use 2 sticks. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put the stick inside this other clamp like that right there. So can y'all see what I did? And you get this at Hobby Lobby, and they're not that expensive. You get a whole pack full of the sticks, and I think the stand was like $5. The pack of sticks was like $5. So next, what we're going to do, let me get it. So this is what I use. It don't have to be Protect brand, but I use regular RC tire glue. And guys, you don't have to do all this I'm showing you. If you don't want to do this gluing process that I do, and you just want to put the dust boots on like they just come normally, just keep watching and I'll show you how to do that. But this is, I glue mine to my ring tabs, the mountain tabs that holds them down. because it keeps them held in place. They don't pop back out, and it just keeps them sealed off. It keeps dirt out. It's just way better. And tire glue, you can use regular super glue if that's all you got, but be warning, I'm just going to warn you, some regular super glues will turn stuff white when it dries. And the reason I use tire glue is because the RC tire glue is made for rubber and plastic parts, and it works perfect. So that's why it's best to use tire glue. But you can use regular super glue, but it's gonna look crappy because it'll dry white. It doesn't work as good as tire glue. The tire glue is thinner, so it just takes like a drop or two, and it goes all the way around, gluing the entire ring. So anyways, if you got regular super glue, then just use it, but not, get you some tire glue. And just to shout out and let you know what's up, I'm going to be sending a brand new bottle to Chris Meffin, my buddy that wanted this video to be made. The one I gave me that rustler body. And I'm also going to be sending him the dust boots for the axle shaft. And 1, 2, 3... I got 4. There's the 4th one. I'm going to be sending them 4 packs of dust boots. That's enough to do 2 RC models, but I've only got 2 packs of the axle shafts, and so anyways, and I'm going to send him the glue that he needs, and I'm going to hook him up because I got to send him some money, and I'm just going to send him that stuff for free just to show him how much I appreciate him. He's a great guy, guys. It's an honor to be able to know and meet him. So anyways, what we're going to do, guys, the next step is get your mountain tab or your dust boot mountain tabs. The Revos and Slayers trucks models takes the blue ones, along with the T-Max 3.3 takes the blue ones. But if you got a T-Max Classic, it takes them black ones, I think. I know this T-Max Classic's got the black ones on it. And actually, there's an instructions manual. There's an instruction paper that comes with the kit. So just read it and see which one your RC model takes. But anyways, we're going to open up our glue. And we're going to set the mountain tab on the dust boot. And make sure you got it the correct way. So you got to do it just right. So it doesn't go like that. With the tabs facing up in the air, it goes like this. That's the correct way. And once you get the tab down flat, make sure it's flat all the way around, and then make sure it's centered even. See, it's not centered even. Actually, I think there's something wrong with this mountain tab. It's a little bit too big. No, it's going now. Okay, well, no. See how it's falling off the edge of the dust boot? This mountain tab is too big. There's no way it would ever hold the dust boot on right. So that'd be a waste of time. That would just let dirt in and everything, and your dust boot would come off. So if you have a problem like that with one of your mountain tabs being too big, that's why I told you to save your old ones. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and go to the other brand new ones out of the pack and see if any of them fits right. Okay, let's see. Let me see. So guys, I've never had to do it this way before, but I found out there ain't nothing wrong with the parts. I just needed to put the dust boot on this the axle carrier, so the axle carrier will there's a piece right there we got to get off. See that little piece of dust boot that's like stuck on there? We got to get that off. But anyways, I went ahead and got this one on, and I'm about to glue it, and you can watch me, but I'll go ahead and show you how to do the whole process and about the next one. So it doesn't take much when you're using tire glue. Just a drop on one side, a drop on the other side. If you want to go ahead and do 4 even drops, one across from each other, the better it'll be. We didn't get it exactly. Make sure the glue gets on the rubber dust boot and the plastic mountain tab. Alright guys, so anyways, let me do the other one and actually show you step by step. So you get your dust boot and stick it on the axle carrier and make sure it's pushed all the way down flat, all the way around the whole dust boot. Next, get the mounting tab that holds the dust boot on, and you want to stick it on one side and then push it over the dust boot. And guys, I don't know, that right there is wet from my sweat dripping on it. And honestly, let me just clean that and make sure it's clean, because the sweat will cause the glue not to stick. Alright, so back to where we was. Go ahead and stick one side on. You just put this tab under it and hook it in right there. And then push this over and then snap it in place. But you'll have to work with the dust boot and wiggle it around to get the tab to lock in and where the dust boot will be. Now let me show you the things. Let me show you this part. Okay, you see that blue ring? See the dust boot is sticking out right there under the mounting tab. That's what you want. And you want to make sure it's like that all the way around. But if there's a part like right there, see, the rubber dust boot is folded up and it's not sticking out under right there. So what you want to do, you got to fix that, guys. If you don't do this right, the dust boots will not work and the dirt will get past them and it just won't work. And so you can see a better example right there. So what you want to do is just lift up on the mounting tab enough to where you can push the dust boot under the mounting tab where it's supposed to be. So now see the dust boot came out under that tab. Now you want to push it back down. And now make sure see if it's all around, see if it's sticking out like it's supposed to. See, now we're good. That's what you want it to be like. Now what we're going to do is glue it. And guys, I'm just going to tell you, when you get the Protect tire glue like this that you use to glue them with, it does come with a little spout that makes it easier to glue stuff like this. It comes with this tip. It sticks on the end of the glue bottle, and you can use it to glue fine point areas instead of accidentally dumping a whole lot of glue out all at once if you just do it the way I'm doing it. But I'm doing it because I'm experienced. And I know I won't make a mess and I won't mess up. So just go ahead and we just dab some glue on this. I like doing it on one side right here, then go straight across the other side. Do a dot on that side. So now I've done both sides, top and bottom, with dots of glue. And if you want to, you don't have to. Usually the tire glue, if you use tire glue, usually it works its way around the ring and glues the whole circle and makes it even, and it works awesome. But if you're using super glue and the glue does not start spreading, you can't see the glue moving around spreading to the whole part that you glued, that's when you want to go ahead and add a ring on the other two sides. Alright, so now you can see the glue. We got it on top and bottom and side to side. Now this tire glue is pretty quick about drying. It dries really quick, but I'm going to go for now and let it dry. And we'll start this video back up on another day. I've ran out of time, plus my phone's about to die. This video is already getting long enough, but I hope it's been a good video, and I hope you guys can learn a lot from this, and I hope it works out for y'all. So alright guys, we'll see y'all in the next video when I finish this. Alright guys, this is a new day, and I don't actually know. Hold on, I gotta get them parts off there. Those are not supposed to be there. Those are piston pins and piston clips. Okay, so I got them out of the way, guys, and I think I know where we left off with the last video. And I think I got all the stuff out that I had before to keep this going. What I'm doing now, but I got rid of my cleaning mixture that I made, and I'm just making the same stuff, the gunk engine degreaser, and I'm going to add a little water to it. And yeah, when I get this done, we'll start in it, guys. So we'll make it quick because I know this video is already long. So we got the dust boots. After you get your dust boots glued, and you made sure that they're completely glued good and they're not going to come off, and you made sure that you got them in the right way like I just showed you. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to focus on this dust boot. Now guys, let me say this first. Hold on, I'm smoking. Hold on, let me get the bag. Okay, found it. So let me say this. So if your dust boots on your axles are bad, and what you want to do when you get to this step that we're at right now, before you put the new dust boot on and even mess with all that, go ahead and check the axle and just make sure the axle's fine, and you don't need to buy a brand new axle, because you might need more than just the dust boot. So what you're going to do to check the axle shaft is you're going to put it back together. Let me get my tripod. So you're going to put the axle back together, and it goes one way. So when you put it in, if it feels tight, pull it back out, and then twist it and try the next slot. And there we go. Keep twisting it and trying the next slot till it's super easy to slide in and out. And what you're going to do is hold the tip, or hold the axle right here, and then hold the axle right here, and twist on the opposite directions. And if you see any play or wear or wiggle that's really bad in the joints, see that silver metal pin right there? That's the universal joint. If there's a bunch of play in between it and this black plastic piece that it connects to, if there's a bunch of wiggle room, then you need a new axle. Check both of them. This axle is actually pretty good, and I don't know if I actually have a bad one to give you an example of. Let me see if I have a bad one. So guys, I don't actually have a bad one to show you, but I told you what to do. And if yours doesn't have a lot of play or wiggle room in it, then we'll move on with what to do next. So anyways, if it does have a bad play or wiggle room, and your dust boots are bad, and it's the best off for you just to go to Jenny's RC, and you can get all 4 brand new axles, which is what I did. I've already done that. I've had these for a while. The fourth one is somewhere laying here, but you can get all 4 brand new axles from Jenny's RC for $20. I think it's $20. Or you can buy the one brand new one from Traxxas, part number 5451X, and I think they're like $12 a piece. So it's way better off to go to Jenny's RC and get all 4. And you can do that if your axle shaft's bad, like I said, or if you don't want to fool with the dust boots, putting the new dust boots on, then it's just easier to buy the new axle sets. But if you want to try to put the brand new dust boots on, let me get them. I forgot I had everything in this little box for Chris Meffin. So anyways, if you want to do the dust boots for the axle shafts, the part number is 5459, and you get 2 per pack. So what we're going to do first, pull the axle shaft back apart. And if one side, like this side right here, it doesn't have any pieces left on it at all, actually it's got a tiny little piece right there. You see it? That tiny little piece. I think that's a piece. Hold on, let me show you what to do. So it's easiest to get an X-Acto knife, and it's easiest just to scrape it off. I don't know what that is. That might not be a piece. Yes, it was. You're possibly going to scratch the plastic a little bit. See where I scratched it? But I got the piece of axle. No, I didn't. It's still there. Let me do it off camera. I can't see anything when I look through the screen like this. All right, so I got it off. Where was it? Right there where the scratches are at. I got it off. And guys, don't worry about the scratches. There's one more piece. Don't worry about the scratches, because you won't be able to see them, because the dust boot will cover them up. And actually, they're a good thing, because it gives the glue something to bond better with too. Okay, so that little chunk came off very easily. So once you make sure you get it all off this side, go to the other axle shaft piece, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to get our X-Acto blade, and we're going to, this is the easiest way. I can, oh, that came off, just popped right off. If they're real old, or it's an old axle shaft, or you've had it for a lot of years, then they'll usually just pop off like this if they're dry rotted. But sometimes they're not, and it's hard to get them off. So we got just a little piece left right here. Okay, so we got it all off. Now you want to make sure, so you see both axle shafts. Let me hold another one up for an example. So the dust boot, is going to connect, or you're going to glue it to these two flat spots. So look where I'm pointing with my X-Acto knife. Let me get the dust boot out. Okay guys, the dust boot I'm going to be using is actually a used one. And one thing guys, I actually got my hands almost clean now, but they're still stained a little bit. Just saying. So like I said, it is a used one, and see it's ripped. Just act like that's not even there. Because I've only got the 2 packs of the brand new dust boots for the axles. And like I said, I'm giving them to Chris Miffin. So we're going to use this. I'm going to show you what to do with this used one, since I don't need it and everything, and whatever, you know. So we're going to pull the axle apart, and we're going to stick it. Oh, let me zoom out. We're going to slide it onto the outer axle shaft. Just stick it on. If you guys first make sure this part is clean and this part is clean, because you want that glue to have something to stick good to, and if there's any greases or chemicals or anything, it won't stick. So you want to slide the boot all the way up on this whole piece of plastic right here. That's where the boot connects to. And you don't want to put glue on it first, because this tire glue, it sometimes dries instantly, and it'll glue the boot in place, and you won't be able to slide it on all the way in the proper location. And trust me, it'll be plenty enough glue and plenty enough strength to hold the boot down if you use the tire glue, because it's thin and it'll leak and get everywhere it needs to get. But we're just going to do a drop on that, and we're going to use the tip of the bottle to drag the glue all the way around the axle shaft in the dust boot. Okay, so you see there's shiny glue all, and that's actually a little too much glue. There's shiny glue all over the dust boot, besides this one spot, and I want to spread it in. You don't have to spread it in. We're going to spread it in with this X-Acto knife. So now we got glue everywhere. Alright, so let that dry. So now we got that dry, and you can see it doesn't look perfect like a brand new one looks, because I don't know how Traxxas does it, the whole process. But you can see Traxxas, there's not really like a lot of glue exteriorly showing. And actually, if I would have used the little needle spout that comes with the tire glue, I could have done a better job, and I wouldn't have got glue everywhere. But I mean, from a far away in the distance, you really can't see all that. And if it really bothers you, you can get some fine grit sandpaper and sand it away. And I'm actually going to do that just for fun. Let me do it. So you can see the areas I've done. It doesn't look 100% better, but it's definitely a lot better than it was. But anyways, we're moving on. So next, what you want to do is you want to slide the 2 shafts together. And like I said, if it's tight and won't go in good, pull it out and try it a different way. And keep trying it the different ways. There we go. Now it's nice and free. And that's if you don't do this right, guys, then your suspension is going to be locked up and it's not going to move freely. Because these axle shafts have to move in and out for the suspension and A-arms to go up and down when you go over bumps and hit ramps and stuff. And anyways, and that's what these dust boots are for. These dust boots keeps dirt and mud and grime and anything from getting in these splines right here and locking the shaft up from sliding. Because if dirt and grime gets inside those splines where the shaft slide, it probably wouldn't lock it completely up where it wouldn't move in and out at all. But really the mainly reason is if dirt starts getting in there and sliding up and down with the shaft rubbing against the plastic parts, it'll wear them out and get them loose, and then the shaft will start spinning and twisting. The splines will strip out. But that would also take a really long time of you just driving constantly, hitting bumps and activating the suspension. So what we're going to do is this lip, you're going to make sure the same thing. Slide the dust boot all the way on that lip till it's touching that part of the axle. And like I said, I know this one's ribbed. Don't pay attention to it. So we're just going to look at this side of it. So once you get the dust boot all the way against where it's supposed to be, do the same thing. Just drop your glue on it and work your way around. And like I said, this one's ribbed. It's not important. So just make sure you glue it all the way around. Let it dry and we'll move on. So the next thing you're going to do is put the axle shaft back in the Revo. Connect it back to the differential and put the screw in it. Okay, after you get the axle shaft put back in, put the bearings, and ain't focusing, put the bearings back in the axle carrier. And after you do that, you decide on whether or not you're going to use the same pivot balls that came out of it, or if you bought brand new pivot balls. But once you figure out which ones you're going to do, you're going to, let me get my tool. So guys, I'm going to talk more about this kind of stuff right here, 3-in-1 RV rubber seal conditioner. We'll talk more about it here in a little while closer to the end of the video. But right now we're going to spray. You don't have to do what I'm doing right here. You don't have to have this, and you don't have to lubricate these. But it's best and it's safer on the dust boots if you do some kind of rubber safe, something that's safe on rubber that won't harm it, lubricant. And this right here will help you screw the pivot balls in without ripping the dust boots or stretching them. So once you have a little bit of lubrication there, or if you're not going to use it, that's fine. You don't have to. It just helps a little bit. I'm going to get the pivot ball, and you're going to try to line this up right here. The tip of the screw threads that goes in the A-arms, you're going to try to line it up the best you can with that hole. And start twisting, putting a little pressure. See how that dust boot's popping up a little bit? That's because I'm putting pressure. And I'm going to start twisting it and trying to screw it in like you're tightening a screw. And it should pop through. Okay, once it pops through, you're going to see the dust boot start twisting like that right there. That's okay. That's why we put the lubricant there. And that's going to help the screw slide through the dust boot safer. And it's going to keep it from ripping the dust boot. Or what you could do is, since you got the dust boots glued to the mounting tabs already and they're dried, you can pop the dust boot off and you can hold it in your hand. Actually, no, it's got to go through the axle carrier. What am I talking about? Stick the pivot ball through the axle carrier, and you can hold this with your hands and line it up and do it this way. And I like using my electric screwdriver because it's faster. And then once you get it all the way, you screw it all the way until the dust boot gets to the end of the threads. Then it won't no longer move anymore. And then what you want to do is just simply pop the dust boot back in its locking tabs. We got one right there, one right there. Okay. Now you want to make sure everything's nice and everything's functioning properly. So now we're going to move on to installing it in the Revo. So what you're going to do, guys, is you're going to lift up on the A-arm and you're going to slide that axle through your bearings and pop it in just enough to where you can get the axle carrier closer to the A-arms. And you want to, it's actually honestly better to start with the bottom one. Hold on, let's do this first. This is actually what will help you out and be easiest for you. So you're going to have to do this anyway, so let's just do it now. It'll make it easier to put the axle carrier on. Remove the push rod. If you're doing this on a Revo or Slayer, unscrew the screw that holds the push rod to the A-arm. Once you get the screw out, you can pop the push rod out of the A-arm, and your A-arms will be able to move freely up and down. Next, we're going to get our axle carrier and we're going to try to put it back in like we were trying to do. And we're going to start with the bottom one. So this is how the axle carrier sits on the Revo. And we're going to go to the bottom pivot ball. And we're going to put our screwdriver in the pivot ball. And then we're going to push the threads of the pivot ball up to the suspension arm on the Revo. And we're going to go in with it. And guys, you don't want to strip it, so don't, if you're using a drill or power tool, be careful. But you want to basically screw it all the way in, and till the screw won't tighten no more. And hold on, I'm trying to get you a good shot. And then once you get that bottom one in, next is you can slide the axle shaft in, the bearings. And you won't be able to pull it all the way through yet, but see it's sticking out right here. The axle shaft is sticking out of the axle carrier and bearings a little bit. That's just enough to allow us. And if your outside bearing pops out, that's fine. You can put it back in. But now we're going to screw the top pivot ball in, doing the same thing. Okay, once you got that tightened, if you've done everything correctly, your axle carrier should move up and down freely. It should feel nice and free and smooth, nothing binding it up. And you should be able to turn the axle carrier left and right like if you was actually steering the Revo and turning. So now that we got that done, this comes the most important part. Now we're going to put the pivot ball caps in. And which is these little black caps. But first, we got to get our dust boots for the pivot ball caps and put them in. And if you're going to be using the stock Traxxas pivot ball cap tool that I use to take them out, this thing, then you can go ahead and put them in like I just did. But if you're going to be using a regular driver nut or whatever, like if you don't have this tool, then you can't put this blue dust boot in yet. But anyways, we're gonna go up to the axle carrier. Hold on, let me get to something. So now that we got our pivot ball cap and dust boot, whatever, it don't matter which one you do first, but we're gonna do the top or bottom. I'm gonna go with the bottom first, and we're gonna screw it in. And we're going to screw it until it starts to feel just a little tight. And screw it till it feels a little tight. And sometimes when it starts to get tight, it's just because of factory flaws in the screw threads. If you got brand new caps or brand new axle carriers and the threads might not be perfect. So when it starts to feel tight, what you want to do is you want to see if you can move the suspension arm up and down freely. If it bounces up and down free like that, that means the screw threads are just flawed and you want to keep on tightening it. Even if it's hard, try your best to keep on going with it. And them threads will eventually work themselves out. And if you're using one of these Traxxas tools like I'm using for the pivot ball caps, you got to really put pressure on the pivot ball cap, or else you'll start slipping and strip these keys out, and you won't ever be able to use the tool again. Okay, so now I can tell that it's ready. So once you get it tight and the axle carrier arms will not move freely, so you want to push up, they won't fall back down. So when it gets to that point right there, this is what the important stuff. You want to put the screwdriver back in the pivot ball cap and just barely loosen it a hair. Loosen it just a crack hair. Test it again. That's better. So and that's why we take the push rod off. And if it's on a T-Max, you'll have to take the shocks off. But you don't have to take them all the way off. Just take the top or bottom off. But anyways, we're going to test that. And now once you test it up and down, the way to fully test it, make sure it's correct, is go to look at it from this angle. And since we done the bottom one, we're looking at the bottom one, you want to grab it, this A-arm, and grab the axle carrier and try to pull them apart. And if it pulls apart any, you'll have to tighten it back up a little bit. But if it doesn't pull apart any, then it's perfect. So leave it alone. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be able, the A-arm and suspension is supposed to be able to move up and down freely. But the pivot ball caps has to be tight, and so your axle carriers will actually turn left and right. The servo won't be burning up trying to turn them, and everything will be smooth and correct. And if you leave them too loose, if you leave it too loose, this is what it'll do. Hold on, you can't see it. See how the top one, hold on. See how the top one, I can move it in and out. If you leave it too loose, that's what your tires and wheels are going to do. Your tires and wheels, if you're driving around, say that right there. Let me zoom out. Dadgummit. So act like that's your tire and wheel, and act like it's screwed on. If your pivot balls are too loose, your tire and wheel will be able to wobble like that, and that's not gonna. It's not, you can't drive like that. So, anyways, now you know what to do. We'll show you and go over it one more time with the top one. Now that you got one of them done, you move on to the next one and do the same thing. And since I've done the bottom, now we're gonna do the top. So you get your pivot ball cap and dust boot, and put the dust boot in the pivot ball cap. So guys, once you get that in, turn it around to the back side of it. Well, never mind, it popped in. Turn it around to the back and look at them from this way, and make sure they are correctly. Because if they don't look like that right there, if they don't look like that, you know they're messed up. And if it looks like that or something, you gotta keep working with it and pop it around till it pops out, till it looks like that. So anyways, after you get one done, go ahead and stick it in and start tightening it down, screwing it in, and do the same thing. Screw it until it gets too tight to where your axle carrier is locked up. Okay, I tightened it to where the suspension and everything is locked up. And like we did the other time. Now we're just going to stick our tool in, and we're barely going to loosen it. Test it. It's still not right. We're going to loosen it a little more. It's better. It's actually perfect, probably. See, it's moving freely up and down. Now we'll test it side to side. So it'll turn left and right, side to side. Now, hold the A-arm. This is how you test it, really. Hold the A-arm straight out even. Hold it up in the air to where the A-arm is straight out, and try to pull up or down and wiggle the axle carrier. And if it moves any, like if this axle carrier was to pull out from this suspension arm, like I showed you and told you before, then you got to fix it. But if you got it, if the axle carrier does not move out any, but the suspension arms will move up and down freely, and it'll turn left and right, then you're perfect. You're ready to go. You can move on and put it together the rest of the way. And the only things we got to do to this side to be done is we just got to put the toe link tie rod back in, and then we got to put the push rod back in. So let's do that. But guys, this process is basically the exact same way for the T-Maxes and the Slayers. It's the exact same way for the Slayers. And the T-Maxes is the same way, except for you'll have to actually disconnect the top or bottom shock from the mounts so your A-arms can move up and down freely. And guys, I was going to do one for the T-Max to show you how to do it too, but this video is just getting way too long, and I really want to tell you, I really want to go over this part, because this is the most important part. This is where I'm going to tell you about how to make them stay brand new, and how to keep them from going bad on you. How to keep them nice. Keep them from cracking and dry rotting. So you see this stuff right here in this can, 3-in-1 rubber seal conditioner. I forgot if I've already talked about it in the video or not. But what you're going to do is, this is at Walmart. You buy this at Walmart. I can't remember how much it costs. It ain't highly expensive, but it's so worth it. Because this is what I use on all my rubber and plastic RC parts. It cleans them, and it keeps them protected, and it keeps them from cracking and dry rotting and degrading. It's safe on rubbers and plastics and metals. And like I said, you can use it as a cleaner, and it protects and keeps stuff safe. And let me just show you how good it is. So, and let me show you what I do to my RCs, basically, when I want to do this to my rubber stuff and plastic parts and things like that. So let me just show you real quick. So, hold on. So here's a used dust boot that I've already glued a long time ago on whatever RC model that it was on. And here is the pivot ball cap. You can see they're both dirty. See all the dirt and grime stuck to it? Or do you need some more light? Let me get my light. So you can see all that dirt and grime on it. Now look at the pivot ball cap again. See the pivot ball cap? So now what we're going to do, as you see this little cup. Hold on, I left one in there. Let me get it out. So we're going to put these in this cup. Hold on, wrong can. This one's empty. Get your can of the rubber seal conditioner. Put enough in there that it'll cover all the parts you're going to put in it. And I'm not gonna take the video off. I'm not gonna pause it or move the cup. I want to leave it right here where you can still see it. And I usually let them sit in there for like a couple of minutes. But since I'm trying to make this quick, we're going to do it quickly. So we got it in there now. All I'm going to do is just go over it with a toothbrush and agitate everything. The longer you let it sit, the better. But sometimes, depending on what type of rubber and how well the quality of the rubber is, sometimes some parts, if you spray the seal conditioner on, sometimes it'll make them swell up. But it's safe on tires. I hadn't had problems with tires. I hadn't had problems with these dust boots. I hadn't had problems with the exhaust couplers. So now that we got it agitated and scrubbed, I took it out of frame. Hold on, same one. See, it's the same one. I'm going to set it right here where you can still see it. Because I'm going to grab my air hose. There went my sandblaster. So I got my air hose. And all I'm going to do is blow dry it off. If you don't have air hose, you can do a paper towel or you can let it air dry. Just let it sit there and it'll eventually dry up a little bit. But we're going to blow dry it off. Now we're going to look at it and see how much better it looks. Let me get my light. Oh, I took it out of frame again. I keep forgetting. I don't want you guys to think I'm swapping it out with a different one and lying to you. Hold on, the light's not working. Something's not right. Okay, there we come. Let it focus. I'm going to have to set the light down. Let me do it this way. Let me set that down where I don't have to hold it. And hold the light and camera. Now you guys can see it. Now I can zoom in. It's still got the dark spots on the rubber. But honestly, once they get degraded to that point, there ain't no bringing them back. But this one I mean, it does make them softer. If it was hard, if the rubber was hard, this does make it soft. So now it actually does like move and go in and out like it's supposed to. It's squishy again. And like I said, guys, you can use it on tires, you can use it on exhaust couplers. And when I say exhaust couplers, let me show you. So I'm talking about the blue exhaust couplers on pipes or any kind of pipe. So we'll take this one off. Oh, I dropped it. But see, it looks pretty good on the outside. But look at the insides and stuff. So we're going to drop it in the cup. And we're going to let it sit in there a minute. And we're gonna roll it around inside there. Make sure it got completely soaked. Let me get my brush. Let me scrub it. Now let's blow dry it off. It's still shiny because I got it was on my fingers from hand from picking it up, and I was holding the part with the, now I dropped it. Now it's gonna have crap all over it. I'm gonna have to blow it off again, guys. Hold on. Okay, so I know it's still shiny, but I mean, it might not be, I don't know if you can tell a huge difference, but it did clean the inside up, that black gunk on the insides. And it works, guys. And if you don't believe me and think I swapped this out with a different one, I'm sorry. I can't prove it to you any other way. But the only thing I warn you, do not ever spray it on any engine seals. So if you got a TRX Traxxas engine, don't ever get it on like the orange seals. Don't get it on the exhaust seal, the carburetor seal, or the backplate seal. It will destroy them because it makes them swell up, and then the seals will no longer fit on the engines. So don't get them on any engine seals, but you can do the carburetor dust boot. So I do my carburetor dust boots the same time I do my dust boots on the axle carriers and pivot balls. I spray them, depending on how much I drive it and how dirty it is when I actually spray this stuff on and actually do it. And the last thing in the video I want to show you before I end it, because this is so long, I hope it's been helpful and everybody's been watching. I'm going to show you how I clean my RC model with this same stuff and what I do. So let me find one that's dirty. Oh yeah, guys, I forgot to pull the pivot ball cap out we put in and show you. And it's no longer like white, and it's way softer. It looks way better, guys. I'm telling you, this stuff works. Alright, guys, so this is what I do to give, and this is not how I clean my RC models if they're really bad. If my RCs if they haven't been serviced in a long time, like the differential grease changed or the differential fluid changed, if the shock oil's getting old, I will actually take my whole RC apart and tear it down piece by piece and clean everything and put fresh fluids and greases and put it back together, because that's just what I do. But if it's just got dust and a little bit of dirt from driving it here and there, like that right there, see, that's little stuff like that, or like just grease buildup from the engine running on it, like that right there, see, that came off the chassis. And see how, let me get never mind, I can't keep messing with that light because it's hard to hold that light and shine it on stuff, and it's hold to it. And I don't know if I said it or not, guys, don't get that, it won't hurt if you get a little bit on there, but don't get a lot of that right there, the rubber conditioner, on any of your wires, servo wires, battery wires, or easy start wires, because it can soften the rubber up too much on them thin wires, and the rubber insulation will actually rip. But see, I'm just showing you how dirty this here's a good spot. So see that's because T-Max Classics don't have sealed differentials, and they take grease instead of differential fluid or oil, and the grease will eventually seep out through there, and that's what's going on. So this is being time to take it apart and completely clean it and service it, which I planned on anyways, because I'm restoring and rebuilding this T-Max. But when I just have a little bit of dust and stuff on my RC cars, and I want to just shine them up, if I'm going to be taking them to drive them somewhere special, and I want to show them off or something like that, I'll get this rubber seal conditioner, like I said, and I'm not joking. I just spray it on everything. And this is if my RC car is actually clean and I hadn't drove it in a while, and it's just been sitting in my hobby room or something, then I'll only spray it on the dust boots and exhaust couplers and rubber parts like that. And this stuff, it's not good to soak them in case your bearings seals are wore out or bad. But it'll rejuvenate your bearing seals if you got rubber sealed bearings. So if they got rubber seals on them, see how that one looks like that. Look at this one, just from spraying that stuff on it. So anyways, guys, but the one thing you don't want to do, if you got metal shielded bearings, like in the clutch bell, if you got bearings that doesn't have shields on them, let me show you. So bearings like this, metal shielded ones, that doesn't have a rubber seal and they're just metal on both sides, do not spray or get that rubber seal conditioner or WD-40 or any kind of liquid or chemical or degreaser or lubrication on them at all, because they're not sealed, and the stuff that you spray on them will go through there and it'll degrade the bearing grease in them. And then once that grease degrades, then the bearings will go bad, especially in a clutch bell. If they're in a clutch bell, definitely they'll go bad within like 2 times of you driving it or running it. But anyways, guys, I think I've went over everything, what to get it on and what not to get it on. And you don't want to spray it on your clutch. So your clutch bell, like I just said, don't get it on the metal gear clutch bearings, but don't get it around the clutch area, because it'll cause your clutch bell and clutch shoes to start slipping inside the clutch, and it'll. So you gotta use some common sense and knowledge whenever you do stuff like spraying this on your RC model. And you've seen how I just literally sprayed it everywhere. That's because I don't have my engine on here. So I'm not worried about the clutch or clutch bell bearings. I'm not worried about the engine seals. So, and I did wind up spraying it a little bit. I wasn't paying attention because I was talking, but I told you not to get on the easy start wires, and I did a little bit anyways. Like I said, a little bit's not going to hurt it. But you see how that yellow wire has a little bit of dirt and gunk on it? Watch this. So after you get that stuff sprayed on there, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. If you want to get a brush or something and rub all that in, you can, but you don't have to, because this stuff works that good. And I wouldn't do this unless you got compressed air. If you don't have a way to spray the RC car off that you sprayed this on, then you're going to have to let it sit a long time before you can drive it again. Because if you went out and drove it with all this lubrication and rubber seal conditioner on everything, it's just going to cause dirt and all kinds of junk and crap to stick all over, and it's going to look worse than ever. But actually, I think this, no, it's not like silicone spray that prevents just like dust and dirt proof. But this reduces frictional wear, it's water resistant, prevents cracking and fading, and it's thin seal off. So it'll keep your metal parts from rusting, it'll keep your rubber and plastic parts rejuvenated and keep them from dry rotting. It'll lubricate everything. So guys, what like I used to do, I used to spray my whole RC model on WD-40 because I thought it made it look shiny and clean, and I would blow it off just like the same process. But WD-40, I learned, it kills rubber parts. It kills if it gets inside the bearings, it'll degrade the grease. It'll cause clutch bell slipping, like I said this would. So there's a lot of chemicals and things you can use to spray and clean RCs with that's good and bad, and has both side effects of good and bad. And if you wanted to go with the safest route, you can use Cal RC Moo Clean, and they make dig razors too. So this ain't an original bottle, but anyways, it's Cal RC Moo Clean, and you can literally spray it all over your RC car just like the stuff I showed you. But after I spray my whole RC down and let it sit a minute, or if I just done the dust boots only, I'll get my air hose and I just blow it dry. And it won't be completely dry. It's gonna still be have a little slippery spots because of the way this stuff is. But once you blow dry it off, I'll show you what to do next. Let me show you on camera how well this works. So you see, too far. So you see all that dirt built up right there around the throttle post. See all that? I hadn't scrubbed it. I hadn't done nothing. All I've done is I sprayed the seal conditioner on it, and now I'm just going to blow it away. It's that easy. Too far. So now look at it. It's clean. There's no more dirt, and look it looks brand new. The throttle thing looks brand new. Let me find another spot to show you. Okay, so this receiver cover. I don't know if that's dirt or not. Let's see what that. Yeah, that's dirt. So I'm trying to get it to. Oh, there we go. So you see all that? Let's blow it away. Looks brand new. What about this A-arm? Let's do it. Looks brand new. Let's do the dust boots on camera. So remember how there was dirt? See all that dirt inside the axle carrier? And everything was blown away. Check it out. Does that not look brand new and perfect? So we protected the rubber, we cleaned the crap and dirt away, and it looks shiny and brand new again. So I'm telling you guys, this stuff is so worth the money. Let's do the dust boots on the pivot ball caps. So they actually don't look that bad, but you can see a little bit of buildup right there. Actually, let's do this. Actually, we didn't actually get to spray anything on that. That grease ain't, we're going to have to clean that by taking it apart and doing that. But we'll at least blow dry the A-arm off. So look at it. Hold on, let me get a little more. Dang it, that freaking cup full of that seal conditioner just poured out, just blew off the table and fell to the floor. That's how strong my blower is. So guys, that's it. That's all you gotta do to protect your rubber stuff, make it last longer, and clean your RC car. So guys, I'm gonna finish blowing this off, and this video is gonna be ended now. It's way too long. I hope you guys watched the whole video. I hope it helped you out. One more thing, let's do this yellow wire on camera. See all that dirt and grime, and it's like got spots on it. Okay, so it actually is a little better. See, there are no more spots on it. I'm just trying, I can't prove it time after time. I'm telling you guys, buy it. It's at Walmart. Just take a picture, take a screenshot of my video right here, right now. So you'll have a picture, a shot of it, and save it to your photos in your phone. And next time you're at Walmart, if you can't find it yourself, go to one of the workers and show them the picture and say, hey, where's this at? Alright guys, I appreciate it, all of you guys watching my videos and giving me likes and subscribing. I hope I know I haven't been posting videos lately. I've had so many excuses of why I haven't posted. And I've made so many promises to people about videos I'd be posting and hadn't done it yet. Guys, just bear with me. My life's hard and difficult a lot of times. I deal with a lot of situations every day, all day long, all week long. And I know my excuses might I know my excuses sometimes can be the same excuse over and over, or whatever, or might not sound like a good reason to y'all why I'm not making videos a lot. But just bear with me, guys, and I'll get straightened out one day, and we'll get the videos coming in again soon. Alright, we'll see y'all. Alright, guys, last part, since this video was all for Chris Meffin, and he's the reason this video was made, we're going to look at everything I'm sending him. And I'm going to send him all this stuff tomorrow. I forgot what day it is today. But, basically, if this video is uploaded to YouTube, then you can see the date on the video that's uploaded. And, and I'm shipping this to him the next day. And I'm supposed to be shipping him a T-Max body and some money. But I haven't been able to get the money yet because I'm still waiting on my eBay money to pin and get into my account. That's why I'm selling a bunch of stuff on Facebook and eBay and stuff. Anyways, this is everything I'm going to send him, guys. And whenever, if I ever become buddies with you, and I took this out of the box so I could fit it inside that bubble mailer, but I think I'm going to have to ship it in a bigger box or something because I didn't like how tight it was in there. But anyways, we got him the same tire glue that I used to do the ones in the video. We got him 2 packs of the axle dust boots. We got him some of the used ones that I've saved just for spares or backups. We got the pivot ball dust boots and caps and mountain tabs. Then we got some brand new pivot balls and caps. And we don't need the caps though. I don't know what they're for. But we got brand new pivot balls in case he needs them. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he needs 2 per vehicle. So I got him enough packs to do 3 RC models. Except for he'll only be able to do one model of the axles. And if he needs these, 1 model. But guys, if I ever become buddies with you because we wound up talking on Facebook, that's what happened. Chris Meffin, the guy that this video is for, and the guy that I'm making it, giving this stuff to him, I'm not selling it. He's the one that I did my first engine tune-up rebuild video for. So on my YouTube channel, if you see the video way back that says TRX 3.3 build or tune-up for subscriber, I think that's what it says. That was for Chris Meffin. And all he did was he just randomly messaged me on Facebook and told me he liked my videos and he wanted to know if he sent me an engine, if I would fix it for him. I said, sure. And he sent it to me. I made the YouTube video, and I tell everybody if I do anything for them, if they mail me something to work on or fix for them, I'll make a YouTube video for it so they can see what I did, and they can have a video about their RC stuff part or whatever. Plus, it gives me content to make more videos with. But anyways, and if I become friends with one of you guys, I'll do stuff like this for y'all too. And I do talk to a lot of people from my YouTube channel. But Chris Meffin is the only one who's like trusted me at first, and the first one to send me stuff. And guys, this is where I'm going to tell you something amazing. He actually sent me a free, I think I've showed it before in a video. He sent me a free Dynamite Mach 2.19 engine in the box. And I was so blown away, and I still have it. I'm never going to get rid of it. And I think I've already showed y'all that on my channel before. But he just gave it to me for free for doing his video for him on his engine. And then he gave me this Dynamite Turbo Flow air filter for it too. It's black, and I've custom painted this to be metallic blue. Look at it. Let me get a light because y'all got to see it better. I did a good job. So this filter was black, and it was just a black regular Dynamite Turbo Flow air filter. And if you don't believe me, every Dynamite Turbo Flow air filter comes with the same colored boot right there. See that black boot beside it? Well, that's how you look at it, guys. Don't it look beautiful? If you look at it right there, there's a lot of orange peel because I hadn't wet sand. If I wet sand it, it'll be completely smooth and look perfect like it does from this angle. See, if you look at it at this angle, you can't see the orange peel. So whenever I wet sand it, which I'm going to, it'll look beautiful. And I've done both sides. And the way you can tell it's a real turbo flow air filter is every Dynamite turbo flow air filter comes with the same colored exhaust boot. See that yellow boot? See that orange boot? See that black boot? Hold on. Dang it. And then there's the pink ones, but my video's not focusing because I dropped my phone and now the zoom's all out of whack. So guys, I'm going to make another video about these later because I'm going to give the person that let me get it from them a huge shout out because I love them, because I'm trying to collect all the different colors. So anyways, guys, bye. Video's way too long. I'm so sorry.